Someday, in the not-so-distant future, it happens. The moment you realize you're ready for anything. Get a degree in emergency management from Jacksonville State University and be ready for where you're going.
This is the Weather Xtreme video, the morning edition. This is for Wednesday, the 4th of December. I'm James Spann. Hey, thanks for watching this. There's a lot of things going on here, and this is the best way to get a good briefing is just to sit down and dive into the maps, and we'll talk about it. We've got a smorgasbord, a buffet of weather over the next 7 days. Everything in there but the kitchen sink. Let's start with the big picture. This is the water vapor satellite view around the nation this morning. Big trough carving out in the west, helping to pull down some nasty cold air. I mean, big-time cold. But look at here, got a warm front that's passed through. And by golly, we are in the mid-60s around here this morning for the most part. Still some cooler air over northeast Alabama. And by the way, that Decatur automated sensor, it's obviously not working. That 77 is bogus. It's not that warm, but it is 64 in Birmingham. Tuscaloosa 67. We'll expect mid-70s today and tomorrow. That's very close to record levels for this time of the year. Want some cold? Yeah, head to Montana, the Dakotas, Wyoming. Sub-zero cold, wind chill indices, and the minus 20 to 30 range out there. It's tough, and that air is just creeping down through the plain states, and we're going to catch a shallow layer of that Friday afternoon, Friday night, and Saturday. Along with the cold, we've got snow, winter storm warnings all the way from Utah to Minnesota and Wisconsin. Winter storm watches now in effect for parts of Texas, including Dallas-Fort Worth, Oklahoma, including Oklahoma City and Tulsa. Arkansas includes Little Rock. West Tennessee, including Memphis. So that's getting awfully close. But, for us, the bigger concern, it's rain. Now, with temperatures where they are, one of the issues might be strong storms. Anytime you get in the mid-70s in December, you have to worry about this. And this is not unusual. This is the core of the fall tornado season. I don't know why some people don't know that. We've been trying to explain that for 35 years. But this is the severe weather risk tomorrow. No formal risk, just low-end, 5% severe weather possibilities for the northern half of the state. We'll take a detailed look at the parameters here in just a minute. Obviously, though, it's going to be wet. This is the rain for the next 7 days. This goes to the middle part of next week, and this has a 5-inch bullseye from near Muscle Shoals up through Nashville, up into the Cumberland Plateau. Amounts around here of 2 to 3 inches. And some spots could see a little more, and we're thankful that most of this is going to fall just as rain and no, freezing rain. However, if freezing rain is going to be a big problem, this is the outlook for Friday. The chance of more than a 1/4 inch of ice, and you've got a high risk for Memphis, and really a very significant risk all the way from Arkansas up through parts of West Tennessee and West Kentucky. And that's where icing could be a very serious situation. So if you're traveling to cities like Little Rock and Memphis, just be aware that there could be a big icy mess beginning tomorrow night and continuing in the day on Friday. And again, we'll show you all that as we go here. This is the GFS, computer model output, the global forecast system, valid at 6 o'clock this evening. And you can see the trough in the west and down below that. It's going to be a very warm December day, cloudy, but probably not much rain. A little sprinkle, maybe a shower somewhere. This is the high-res NAM, valid at noon today, and it's just got nothing out there. So despite the warmth and all the clouds, we're just not going to see much rain. And the sun might peek out at times now that warm front is north of here. Okay, this is tomorrow, that the Arctic boundary is getting close. And as that presses in here, we, of course, have to worry about the possibility of storms. The high-res NAM remains relatively quiet. It just doesn't show a lot. This is at noon, but I do think tomorrow afternoon, as the front approaches, we'll begin to see an increase in the number of showers and thunderstorms. What about severe weather possibilities? Well, let's take a look. This is the surface-based instability, or CAPE, valid at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The higher values, over 1,000 joules, are over Mississippi. The amounts are generally under 1,000 joules here. in Alabama, despite the fact that we're in the 70s. The air aloft and the lapse rates are not that impressive at this point. And this is the bulk shear between the surface and 850 millibars, about the lower 5,000 feet of the atmosphere. Higher values are lagging back in the colder air, so everything just seems out of phase for severe weather. Certainly there could be some thunder, but I just don't think we have a big severe weather problem, or really a severe weather problem, despite this odd warmth, which is a good thing. But still, with thunderstorms, expect the unexpected. We'll keep an eye on things, but definitely a good chance of showers and storms tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. Now, Friday, we stay wet. We're going to have rain on Friday, and you can see that icy mess. Dallas, Fort Worth, Little Rock, Memphis, maybe up toward Louisville and Cincinnati. And then deeper in the cold air, you get snow going, places like Tulsa and Kansas City and St. Louis. But again, for us on Friday, it's just going to be a very, very wet day with rain. And temperatures, well, they're just going to be all over the board. This is midday Friday. I think you can pick out that front. Now, remember, the models will not really have the resolution to handle the cold air very well. So I think the cold air will be a little farther south than that. But, you know, so this thing is showing Birmingham at 77 at noon on Friday, with Muscle Shoals at 41. And I think what's going to happen for our part of the state, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, we start the day in the 60s. We probably reach the 70s briefly at mid-morning, and then temperatures begin to fall. We fall into the 40s on Friday afternoon. If you're in Florence and Muscle Shoals, you could be in the 30s all day Friday. It's going to be very cold up there. But if you're in Montgomery, yeah, you might see 80 Friday before the cold air reaches you. So it just depends on where you are. But again, for the core of our place around here, very warm Friday morning. We fall in the 40s Friday afternoon. Now, this is Friday night at midnight, and this is where we have to worry about northwest Alabama, where there could clearly be some freezing rain around the shoals. The rain continues. Temperatures drop below freezing. And understand, whenever we say freezing rain, that means rain in liquid form that falls when temperatures are below 32, coats everything with ice. And a long duration of freezing rain leads to an ice storm. Freezing rain is not sleet. Those are little ice pellets. All right, these are temperatures Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, and it's got freezing temperatures up in the northwestern corner of the state. And again, I think it's going to be colder than this. The models will not be able to handle the cold air very well. It is very anomalous. But I clearly think there is a window for some icing and freezing rain over the northwestern corner of the state Friday night and early Saturday morning, especially in Colbert and Lauderdale counties. But understand, there could be some freezing rain in counties like Limestone and Lawrence and Franklin and Marion and maybe even Lamar. So just be aware of that. West and northwest Alabama, there could be some freezing rain and bridge icing Friday night, Saturday morning. For Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, just expect a cold, miserable rain. All right, this is the day Saturday. Memphis, the freezing rain should be over. But again, it could be an icy mess from what happens on Friday. Down this way, the rain will likely continue on Saturday in the cold air. It's just going to be cold and miserable. We'll be in the 40s all day with periods of rain. And notice more ice in Texas with that next wave. Dallas, Fort Worth, and Waco, maybe even down to Austin. That just looks nasty. So if you're traveling out there, be aware of that. This is Sunday. Now, it's going to be another challenging day for temperature forecasting as warmer air begins to move north and the Arctic boundary shifts north. This is suggesting on Sunday the better chance of icing will be in Dallas and Little Rock, Evansville, Indiana, and Cincinnati, Ohio, with just rain down here. And you can see the deal. This is noon on Sunday. You got that tongue of warmer air coming up. Birmingham reaching 64. Now, it can be harder to dislodge this colder air than the models think, but clearly we're going to see something that looks like that. You've got the wedge off to the east, cold air damming. And, you know, places like Galesville and Cedar Bluff and Heflin, they could stay in the 40s all day. Northwest Alabama might not get out of the 40s. You know, Muscle Shoals and Hamilton, Russellville. But Birmingham and Tuscaloosa and Anniston could get up in the 60s on Sunday. So, again, the numbers are going to be all over the board. But whatever, warmer with rain likely Sunday. Now, this is Monday. The rain begins to wind down, and it turns much colder. We'll just say rain ending. And again, at some point Monday night, there could be a few snow flurries, a snowflake or two. I don't think that'll be a big issue. This is Tuesday at midday, and look at those numbers. The freeze line is along US 278, and this is suggesting we're not going to get out of the 30s on Tuesday if this is right. Very cold day, and this is Wednesday, cold and dry. There's a look at the temperatures Wednesday morning coming off the European. It's got Birmingham down to 23. Clearly, we're going to see some teens. And goodness, if you look up there at Memphis, I'm seeing single-digit lows. What's that, 8 degrees up there? 5? Woo, boy. And here's a meteogram coming off the GFS. You know, at one point it tried to bring us down to like 13 degrees. Now it's got us down to 23. Whatever, it's going to be very cold in the middle of next week, and we'll just kind of nail the numbers as we get closer. We'll check the end of the forecast briefly. This is the 19th of December in northwest Philo Aloft, and that looks noticeably warmer. Again, a few days before Christmas. So at this point, the latter part of December looking more comfortable than what we're going to deal with over the next 7 days. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock today. If you can, catch us on ABC 3340 News this evening on the live stream of the television side at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.